Hi, you are on Undone with Dawn McJoy, and today we have one of the best two guests that I have had in my radio career, which is only 4 weeks long. I have Stu Man, and Jimbo from my old radio legends here today, and we are here at the studio live. And this is an exclusive interview between these two beautiful men in my life. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Wonderful.
How you doing, Stu?
I'm doing fine.
It's weird being on this side, right?
It really is, yeah. But I just wanted you to rest assured that I think, speaking for me and Jimbo, we would do anything for you. Sweetie.
Absolutely.
Anything.
Yeah, but it's weird being interviewed. We usually,
Yeah, it is.
Usually the other way around.
Yeah.
Really?
Well-
So I'm glad that you're honest, because that's what this show is about. It's called Undone, or When We Come Undone, where behind the scenes, where we get to see all the weird, ugly things about us, but also the parts that make us humble and meek. And
in tribute,
Yes.
to show you how on board and supportive we are,
Yes.
Stu and I both have our trousers undone.
oh,
we
they
do.
do.
No, I'm I'm kidding.
No,
We're wearing pants.
Well, Stu has his basic getup on with his band T-shirt and his jeans and his tennies.
Yep.
Yep.
Jim over here is crazy loud in his yellow shorts.
Yeah, but Jimbo can do that. Jimbo can pull that off, and I can't.
He can't.
I can't wear red or yellow or any of those great colors.
If you give me a drink, Stu, you can pull it off. I'm kidding.
And speaking of drink, what are you drinking today?
I have 0-calorie Cascade Ice lemonade because I'm being very supportive of my gorgeous bride, Jackie, who is making us eat, drink. We're not drinking booze. I'm on my 92-day sober with Jackie because she's
Really?
training for the first ever bikini fitness competition, April 9th. So 0 calories, but it's got a lot of flavor, believe it or not. So
And speaking of Jackie, I just saw her in the studio. We just came from your recording, right? And you're on KQLH,
yeah,
right?
we do our Wednesday show. We call it Afternoon Delight, a hump day happiness with the Jimbo and Jackie show, 1 to 2 p.m.
That is a lot of adjectives in one sentence.
I get paid by the syllable.
Yes.
That's right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Today is like a reuniting of both of you, right? And just coming
Yeah.
back into the studio after several years of being together and then a couple years off. So today is that undone lifestyle. And so I wanted to talk to you today about claiming your truth. So what has been your truth, Jim, this last, I would say, year and a half? What has been your truth in this world? Where have you come from? Where did you go? Where have you been? Everybody's asking where the heck you've been.
Well, Jackie and I moved up to Las Vegas because Jackie does real estate in California and Nevada. And when we lived down here, we'd go to Vegas so much that I told Jackie, I said, maybe it's cheaper just to move up here and come down to handle some things. And that's been the case. So we moved up to Vegas. We love it. If you come up to Vegas, we'd love to see you. But I've been trying to be the best husband I can every day, trying to be the best pops, because I got 3 of my own that became out of my loins, and Jackie's got 4, so I got 7 kids that we got to deal with.
Dang.
And we just been doing the pursuit of bringing the fun back, and I try to make people feel good about themselves with Jackie on our YouTube channel,
Right.
the Jimbo and Jackie Show.
The Jimbo and Jackie show. So that's how it all started with me and you. I saw you out in the community. And then here comes Stu a year later or so. And Stu, what have you been doing? Have you been hanging out, retired, enjoying life?
I love retirement. Retirement's fun. You can do whatever you want.
Wake up whenever.
Wake up whenever. Go to sleep whenever. Leave home whenever. And I spend days away from home sometimes. So.
And it still amazes me. How many years did you do radio?
42.
42 years.
Yeah.
That's your truth. So everything that is music, rock and roll is in your blood. Is
Yes,
that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
He lives it, loves it.
I keep
Yeah.
trying to tell people that
That came out long before I got into radio.
That's
I
right.
started studying music at age 7. So
Age 7. That's kind of the question I was going to ask you. Where were you born, Stu?
San Bernardino.
San Bernardino.
There you go, Birdoo.
Yeah, that's right.
And what
San
year were you
Bernardino's.
born in?
Do we have to go?
Yes.
55.
1955, which means you've been in radio and industry. And what did you tell me in 3rd grade? What did you tell me about your 3rd grade? You've known music ever since 3rd grade.
Yeah, well, even when I was in second and third grade, I could tell you every song that was in the top 10
Right.
at any given time.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
You know, I used to go to this record store by my house in Colton, down on Mount Vernon, and every week they would have these little top 20 lists or whatever for whatever radio station was playing, whatever songs or whatever, and I used to collect them, and I used to study them. I don't have them anymore because I've memorized them all.
Well, Jim's pretty good with music as well. He can pull something out of nowhere in thin air and fit some kind of mood.
Yeah, but if it came down
He's
to a
really
music Jeopardy, I do pretty good. But Stu, man, he's it.
He knows everything.
He's
I
in on
know.
the stick.
But you are very good.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll take that as a huge compliment coming from the man who's seen it all.
Yeah, well.
So what have you been doing lately as a hobby, any of you? I wanted to talk to you today about your hobbies. Lately, radio is my new hobby, but it's turning into a complete career, which I love. So what are you guys doing for hobbies these days?
Stu?
Anything?
I still cycle.
You cycle, right? And
Yes.
how many miles did you tell me about you used to run? I mean, cycle 100?
I used to do 100 miles a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And that was just my commuting miles. That wasn't my weekend leisure cycling.
And where did you ride from? Remember you told me?
From Ukipa to Redlands every day. To
Every
work.
day to
Yep.
work.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's back in the day when I have some friends that still do that, you know.
And he would still be the first one to show up.
Yeah.
He had to come the farthest on a bike, and he was always the one that was on time and first.
Yeah. Well, you gotta leave yourself a cushion.
Yes.
I found that out.
I can't tell you how many
First rule of
times
cycling.
I would call Stu from the off ramp saying,
Yeah.
Stu, play a Zeppelin song. I'm almost there. I'll be there before you know it.
Days of Confused will be fine. That's 8 minutes.
That's right.
Stu, what is your favorite thing right now? I want to ask you about Jim, seeing your friend in the radio industry again, seeing his YouTube channel and all that stuff. What's your favorite thing from right now, his growth pattern?
Well, I just want to tell you that I'm so proud
Yeah.
of Jimbo because I know when he came to work with me, I know it was kind of weird. It was different, and they didn't really know if it was going to work out.
Right.
Putting these two people together, and then eventually the three of us with the trio. But it's that we made it work out, and I'm very proud of him.
I am too.
Yeah.
Well, I like hearing, what's crazy is before I worked with them, I moved out from Chicago in '87,
Right.
and I asked the people here, like, what's the cool morning show?
Right.
And some of the people said that Mary and Brian or Mark and Brian, whatever.
Who the hell they are.
I didn't like that one, and they told me Stu and the crew, and Stu was like my favorite morning guy. So even before I even thought of getting into radio, I would listen to Stu and the crew. One of my first jobs, I would listen to Stu, his whole show. I'd be cutting fence pipe in Fontana at Builder's Fence, listening to Stu and the crew.
Yeah.
Dang.
Now, I did Stu and the Crew for 5 or 6 years, something like that. So
I wouldn't even.
That was cool.
I do remember listening to both of you on the infamous, KCAL, and that's how I knew you. And I actually won NHRA tickets from you, Stu. And I was so happy that I won them.
The Winter Nationals.
That's right.
You said it, and you're like,
because
now,
those tickets are so damn expensive.
I know.
My God, you're
Win
kidding.
'em.
I can't believe it.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
And then I learned that both of you are actually quite bright in the fact that you know music like it's in your soul.
It is.
And it is an actual pastime for you. No matter what mood you're in, you always have something that ties to it. So, Jim, I wanted to take down to memory lane. What was your first job that you told me about when you worked at the mall? What was your name?
Oh, my first one of my first California jobs was I was Jim Tendo.
Jim Tendo.
Yep, I worked a little kiosk in Inland Center Mall, and I was mad they never changed it to Jimland Center Mall, but you still got
You
time.
tried.
But
You
yeah,
tried.
I was going to college, San Bernardino Valley College, where Stu went to, and I needed a college job, so I sold video games out of the mall. And
awesome.
you were supposed to ask for the manager special. And I thought, that sounds kind of boring. So I reinvented myself and said, ask about the Jim Tendo special. So that was my big name change, being an artist in the mall selling video games, always clamoring for attention. Look at me.
And Stu, what was your first job?
My first job was moving furniture
Really?
for a consignment auction in Rialto, yeah.
Interesting. And I forgot to ask Jim, where were you born, Jim?
I was born in Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, Illinois. So you two crazies had different lifestyles,
Yep.
different backgrounds,
Yep.
and yet found each other.
Yeah.
And one thing I didn't know was that you recorded in radio. You stood up most of the time. Is that right?
Yeah, the engineers weren't too happy with me because they would always say, "Jimbo, quit molesting the mic stand."
Right.
And I would never sit. I had too much energy, and I would like grab the mic and move it around, kind of like it was like stand up
Right.
almost. But I was like a caged animal. And Stu will tell you, like some of the songs, I would go in the hallways and run back and forth.
Yes. Headbang.
Could not stand still.
No, he couldn't.
I got to go back a second. You said you worked in Colton.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Did you move furniture?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
You moved furniture?
Yes.
Stu, yeah. Got the
Stu.
muscle Stu man.
Man.
I move furniture. You can move anything with a friggin' hand truck. Come on.
That's true.
Stu is the same, weighs the same as my birth weight.
He's
Yeah.
pretty.
Stu.
Him and I weigh the same right now.
Do you really?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you could probably trade pants, I bet.
You wouldn't be
Look at
surprised,
you.
yeah.
But Stu, one of the best radio voices I've ever heard. It's
Of
amazing.
course. And you have an expert level knowledge of when to play a song, where it came from. You first saw a person in concert. Remember you told me you saw David Bowie in concert?
Yeah, I saw him a couple of times, actually.
Right, only a
Yep.
couple of times.
Lucky.
And how, tell me what like your favorite concert was that you can remember.
Well,
I know that's hard.
So many.
that 375 Led Zeppelin show was a little hard to beat. You know?
I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
He paid $3.75 for a ticket, folks.
Yeah, we talked
Not
about
$375.
No, and this is in,
$3.
that was in 1969. Yep.
1969.
That was Zeppelin's first tour.
Wow.
And Jim,
And I had never heard of them. I didn't know who the hell they were.
really?
No.
And Jim, what was your favorite concert? Can you recall?
My favorite was one. It was a special event. It was only friends and family of the band, and I got to bring my brother, and it was the reunion of Van Halen.
Oh my God.
So I got to be front row, and they had the opening band do it. They were doing like a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
Cool in the Gang.
Oh,
So it was
that's a
Cool in the
good
Gang and a
combo.
reunited Van Halen, man.
Wow.
That was awesome. That's one of my top ones. But my first one ever was Bruce Springsteen, 11th row, and I paid $100, Stu.
Wow.
So
For
funny
11th
fact.
row? That's good.
That ain't too bad.
Hell no.
But it's a far cry from here. $3.75 to
Well,
see Led Zeppelin.
you know.
That's wild.
Well, it was their first tour. Nobody had ever heard of them.
Yeah.
They didn't know who they were.
That's true.
So once again, let's remind everybody and the listeners who they are listening to. You're on Undone with Dawn McJoy, and my guests today are Jimbo and Stu Man.
Yeah.
From the
Yeah.
early morning shows to the early evening shows to the all-nighters you're pulling out there in Vegas now. I'm seeing you're out there everywhere, different burlesque shows, Jimbo, and you're just out there in the community telling people about your show and your wife. And Stu and I have gone out there before.
Yep.
Yep,
It's
we
fun.
love having you. You know, the fun. And just
Well,
because
we'll be
they were
back.
done, we ain't done.
No, we'll be back.
Follow fun, follow us is
Yeah.
what is our mantra. That's
It
our
is it.
battle cry, baby.
All day. And then you've been in the Mobile, right? In the RV. Have you
Yes.
seen the RV?
Yeah.
So tell us about this RV trip, Jim.
Well, actually, for a while, me and Jackie sold the house. I bought it a lifetime ago, and it was time to move on finally. Stu likes that, don't you?
That's very funny.
We sold it December of 2019 and had no idea where we were going to go. And my neighbor, Mrs. Manson, if you remember her from the radio days, called me and said, "Jimmy, what are you going to do?" And I'm like, "I don't know. We'll figure it out." And she goes, "Well, why don't you move in with us?" So we actually moved in for a couple months. And then my ex wanted to move. So she moved all the way to Kansas and took the kids with her. And we can talk about that later if you want. But I'm trying to move the story along. And then COVID hit.
Yes.
And then we like, okay, well, this ain't the best time to buy a house. We couldn't figure it out. My kids just left. So me and Jackie decided to buy an RV and roam the earth. So we lived in an RV for 315 days, 16 states, 16,000 miles. And I know it's not a popular thing to say, but we had a blast during the first part of COVID.
I know you did, and I saw it, and you let us follow you. You went live a lot.
Yeah, we did a little show.
Stu, I don't know if you saw them, but every single time Jim and Jackie were trying to invent themselves every day.
Yeah.
You used your tongue drum, which is a thing that uses sound to calm your body down, but you learned how to play Happy Birthday.
I did.
Learned how to play songs
I know
on
that thing
that.
you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot
And-
that's what it's called. Yeah.
And I was trying to learn Jump, and I
Yeah,
got it a little
Van
bit by
Halen.
Van Halen a little bit. Still got to work on that one.
Right. And Stu and I recently have been connecting just on the music level. So, Stu, when you were little, you shared with me that you used to sing in choir. Is that
Yes,
right?
I did.
Right, I did
Yes.
too, and that's where we bonded, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about the choir experience that made you want to get back into this lifestyle.
Well, I sang in church choir, and I wasn't just in the youth choir. If they needed a part for the regular adult choir, I could sing tenor or alto, either one.
Lucky.
So, I knew the parts, and it was just a matter of knowing it. But I learned music at a very, very young age.
Yes, you did?
Yeah.
So
I learned how to read music.
So I'm going to ask you if you were to name your top favorite album. Could you tell me?
Ooh.
Because
You wanna get
you're
one
the
before they
music
throw
man,
you-
Stu.
Yep. Can it be a double album?
It can be.
It can be.
Okay, well, this would be a single album.
Okay.
I think.
Is it a best of? That's kind of cheating, I think.
No, it's not a best.
Okay,
of.
no best ofs.
I would say, because it's not just my favorite album by this band, but it's one of my favorite albums of all time, is Led Zeppelin 2. Now, I know people will say,
okay.
Led Zeppelin 2, yeah, well, no, it's not the first album. It was different. It was more uniform than the first Led Zeppelin album, yet it wasn't as involved as like Houses of the Holy or the number 4 album. You know, there was no classic on there other than Whole Lotta Love. But
Great song.
yeah, Led Zeppelin's 2, I would have to say, as far as studio albums go. But then there's a ton of others, like Allman Brothers Live at Fillmore East. That's a double album. I could listen to that all day.
Yeah. And those things keep you going.
Yeah.
And Stu, what's your favorite genre of music? Rock and roll, classical? Because you're very, very, very studious, and I call him studious.
Yeah.
Mr.
Studious.
Studious.
In the
Stewie man.
studio with Dawn McJoy.
What is it that you find the best genre in your life?
Oh, rock has always been my genre.
Are you?
But you know, you got to realize I followed a lot of pop music too, you know.
Do you really?
Oh,
You don't
yeah.
seem like a pop music guy.
Well, I used to be, back when pop music sort of had a different definition than it does now, you know.
And what was your favorite pop album or song?
Oh, God. I don't know.
I wouldn't even know.
That's tough questions. I really liked,
Are you a Beyonce guy? Or are you
bands,
You
you know.
Beyonce?
I like
Michael
bands.
Jackson, Janet
I
Jackson?
loved Michael Jackson.
There we go.
Sure, yeah.
And Jimbo, what's your favorite genre of music?
I got to go with rock, but I do like a lot. And because of my country wife, she's brought some of that into me. But some of that stuff is just so terrible. But I do like some country, but rock has been my heart and blood. I remember as a young man, across the street was the Walker family. And it was the family of a truck driver, his wife, and he had 7 daughters.
Ooh.
And I used to like going over there because they would play Zeppelin, they would play Aerosmith, they would play AC/DC, and 6 of them were older than me, and they liked to wear white tank tops, and bras weren't very popular in the 70s.
Yeah.
So I would listen to rock and roll and watch the Walker girls dance, baby.
Okay.
So you still got their number?
Well, I just wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor, Stout Pain and Wayner. Neil Wayner has been so sweet to me, and he's put me on the map in regards to helping me understand financials from my behavioral
Awesome.
standpoint. And so that's one of the sections I was going to talk to you about is what have you been doing with your time, your energy, and your money? Me, however, I've invested in this radio show thank you, Jim, for inspiring me and
Wow.
keeping me
You're welcome.
alongside you. I'm not just a groupie alongside you. I've been learning and watching you.
Observing.
And Stu, it's been an honor to learn behaviors and when to come on cue when it makes sense and it's funny and just go with it and relax. And the two things that you both have said to me is just be you.
Absolutely.
And that is where I have feared the most, but I'm grateful that you both gave me that advice.
You know, Jimbo and I used to go to a lot of conventions together,
Yeah.
like radio conventions and broadcasting conventions. And
The
stuff
gathering
like
of the
that.
loudmouths.
The gathering of the loudmouths, absolutely. You know, you got, like 66 morning shows, and all of them are obnoxious. And you've got all these people in one room. But you remember somewhere we go to MSBC, Morning Show Boot Camp, and somebody would always get up at the very end, and somebody would always say, be yourself.
Yep.
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
That's true.
And that really is true.
And if you're boring, be
Yeah.
somebody else if you're going to be on the
That's
radio.
right, yes.
So
Or develop yourself into a different style of person. Work on your own delivery, you know.
I've been doing that in front
That's
of the
good.
mirror, and then I get my amps up. I listen to you both, and I watch your style. I get amped up and listen to my rock and roll before I come down to the
Nice,
station.
yeah. It's an attitude.
good.
It
Yeah.
is. Becoming undone is undone from the world, undone from work, undone from your friends and family. And both of you have told me the same thing, which is to sit down and talk to the microphone. And it's just an intimate relationship that you have with the audience, but reality is you're talking to someone that, like you on the other end. And so if you could give a piece of advice, my advice was to ask you both to write down 5 things that you wanted the world to know about you and 5 things that you wanted the world to know about your business or your smarts or the things that you offer to the world from your talents. And so if you guys were to give me a sound piece of advice, what would you tell a listener like me on the radio who wants to start out in this industry? What's something that you would tell us?
Don't.
There you go.
I'm glad.
Well
I'm
said,
glad
Stu.
you're honest. Don't. Because-
Be sure you love it. If you don't love it, don't do it.
Because if you don't love it, it's impossible.
Is it? No.
It's
Yep.
impossible. You couldn't. You would not be comfortable doing radio if you didn't love it.
You have to learn how to speak. You have to
Yes.
learn how to know things. Jim, you're excellent at pulling out jokes out of nowhere.
Yep.
Where does that come from? Do you Google this stuff before you get on the show? Or what are you
know
doing?
what? Life is a Rolodex, and you go through different situations in life, and a lot of them are pretty similar, and you kind of remember what you did or how you reacted. I mean, it's I guess it's just being ready.
Is
You
it?
know, and it's like, there'll be times, well, Stu would tell you, like we'd be doing a break, and all of a sudden I'd remember something from 3rd grade or something that happened on a Brady Bunch episode. I guess you really got to be a good listener, and while you're listening, kind of go through, how can I add to this instead of just saying, yep. So it's one of those things, I guess. I don't know if it's a gift or it's kind of cool to be able to be fast like that.
Yeah. And I think Jimbo's spontaneity is indeed a gift.
Me too.
Because I was never as spontaneous as Jimbo.
And to be honest, that's my favorite thing to do and I think it's because I was in team sports. I've tried stand-up, and I'm going to try to do it again. That is way harder for me instead of hanging out with people and listening and throwing stuff back and forth. That's what I prefer. That's why I wanted to make sure I had Jackie with me when the stiffy died, so to speak.
Right.
The last stiffy. Somebody did I hated hearing that. They did like a little documentary and interviewed us.
They
and
did?
and they called it The Last Stiffy. And I'm like going, oh my God. I don't want to think. I hope I don't have, but you will have your last stiffy one day.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Hopefully you got a good friend with you when that happens.
Hope so.
So the things that I wanted to remind people on is that we're on the show. It's called Undone with Dawn McJoy for a reason. why am I so undone at this point in my life? Well, I've been through some struggles like you. I went through some divorces, like both of you. I went through some major pain in the growth world, business-wise. I lost my job and created a job. It's not always popular what we do. We're popular by being in the world, but sometimes what we do isn't so popular, and they want us to perform right in front of them. So, Jim, what is something that you wanted the world to know about you in your list? I'm sure you said you did your homework. So
I did do my homework.
If you were to be called out on the street and said, Jim, I heard that show with Dawn McJoy. I'm so grateful you said this. And I could really relate to you. What's something that they could relate to you about?
Let's see. I'm just trying to be a better me. I've weeded out some bad habits, and instead of just settling for, I'm getting old, that's the way it is. My wife and I, eating better, drinking less. Drinking nothing right now, and I do need a drink right now.
My
to be
favorite
honest
part
with
was when we were at my birthday dinner, and we're all having a cocktail or two, and you go, yes, I will have some water.
Yeah, April 9th, I get to drink again, Stu.
April 9th?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. But I think I'm going to swear off beer because I don't. Stu won't get one, but I had a beer gut.
Oh, you did?
I did. And right now, I'm down to, I lost 20 pounds within this year.
Congratulations.
So I'm trying to make good habits. I'm also trying to be open-minded and not judge other people as they do their journey.
Agreed.
And sometimes that's hard because, especially because we did morning radio, and you always had to have an opinion on something.
Right.
And you don't always have to share your opinion in real life, but on a radio show, that'd be a terrible show if you didn't share your opinion.
That's right.
So sometimes you got to reel it back when you're not on the radio. It's something I learned. And I'm trying to grow up, but not too much.
How so? There's no way. You guys have more energy than I ever could.
Well, growing up doesn't mean you got to be quiet and not fun.
True.
Right.
I guess, like I said, part of that is being a little bit open-minded to other people's journey and let them do that. If they ask you for advice, that's cool, but let them go through it because obviously I don't know everything, even though I sometimes act like it. Fake it till you make it, I guess. But no, I'm trying to be, I guess, as more open-minded and loving to people.
I've seen that recently, too.
That's a good thing.
And sometimes it's harder than you think.
And your show is down in Corona, right?
We got a studio.
Right, and Stu still hasn't been there, but
I have not, no.
The way you do it, it's like a TV show, so it's a little bit of Brady Bunch meets Wayne's World meets, there's a bar there,
I like that.
and there's all this other stuff on the
Wayne's
side, and then there's a big conference table, so it's a lot of business going on.
It's a Twisted Tonight show. We got a house band, a full bar, and we try to interview comedians and musicians.
Right.
We're not limited to that, but those people seem to have good stories.
And every time I go, and I will take you, Stu, every once in a while, I learn that it is a place for even me to be undone. And you've asked me that time and time again, like, if you can't come, relax, don't come. You know, and you were right about it, and you were right up in my face about it, and we cried together a little bit, and we were honest about, like...
Did I cry?
We both did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you were telling me as your friend, you said, Dawn, I've set this up to where it's a safe environment to do something that I've always wanted to do, and I want to share my dream with anybody who wants to stop by.
Yeah.
And Stu, the same thing with you. You want to share the things you have to say if you want to ask me. And those two relationships, you guys are very similar. And I see it so much that I know you have separate backgrounds, but I see the marriage that you made in communication. And in this day and age, communication is quite key. And I'm not always good at it either, and sometimes we get a little grumpy. Like sometimes Stu and I will text each other and it's like, it's raining. And we get sad sometimes, but then...
How many morning shows did you do before you worked with me?
It was like 4 or 5, wasn't it?
And I worked like, I don't know, 5 or 6, something like that.
On your own, just doing your own regular shows?
Or with other partners, yeah.
And so when you guys got together, would you say that it made you better people?
Yeah.
Oh, I think so.
I think
Absolutely.
so too.
I mean, because I still light up every time I see Stu.
I know. I see on both of you.
And likewise, yeah.
It's like a father figure, a brother, just like, it was like a crazy rock and roll marriage between Stu, Tiffany, and ourselves.
It really was, yeah.
Spent more time with each other than our spouses.
That's true.
And maybe that's why we got a couple X's under our belt.
I can relate to that.
I was thinking about that the other day, when like you and I would have to go in and record like 2 weeks worth of Christmas week
Because we go on vacation,
Yeah.
so you
Oh,
had to
yeah.
pre-record
You know,
stuff.
and all that stuff's got to be filled up.
Yes,
So
it
we'd
does.
go in there and we'd work for days on this stuff. My God.
Wow.
And still be laughing at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stu and I, we didn't fight too much,
No.
to be honest.
Stu, what is a piece of advice that you would give somebody in this day and age in regards to moving forward in this life?
In life, not just radio,
Just
Stu.
life, like after COVID and all the shutdown, we have media now, but what would you tell them?
Ooh.
And what are you doing?
Try and find good in anything you can.
Right.
Yeah.
Connect to something.
Absolutely, yeah. And connect with something, but it's got to be good, you know. It's your friends, your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And it's hard, especially because we got to do a lot of stuff on social media.
Yes, we do.
You get to hear from all the negative Nellies.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep scrolling. Don't let it consume you. Don't let it, even if they say something about you, you got to be like, who cares? Who cares?
Same thing in business. Same thing in business. You got to stick to your actual mission and vision. And so I always felt like when I met you both had the same vision, which is to make people, like you say, stay positive, stay happy, stay healthy.
Yeah.
And my tagline for Red Shoe Project is help, heal, grow our community.
Nice.
It always just kind of flowed in that. And when I met both of you, you both told me, run with the humor. That's your best side. And sometimes I don't like to laugh, and I don't like to make light of a situation that I deal with my business in Red Shoe.
Well, sometimes you can't.
I
understand
cannot.
that.
No, and that must be a difficult position.
It is, and I appreciate that because I had to learn this last year that being undone means being a little bit more vulnerable than I was the day before. And because of both of you, I've been able to see your family situations. I've been able to see your physical change. Like all three of us have changed even in the last 6 months. I've been able to see a huge vision on where you both are going, and it means to be closer to each other every single time. And I really appreciate that because you have stories that I don't have. And those stories, Jim, you taught me how men are a certain way, and I forgot that you specifically said men are pigs. And,
Yeah, we're animals.
And then I'm like, yeah, but that's not right. And then Stu says, well, sometimes men don't appreciate you, sweetheart, is the things you say. So every comment that you both say, it comes from a place of love to me.
Oh, no doubt.
And I believe that when people listen to you, you're good-hearted souls, right? So I want to lighten it up. Stu, you told me one day that you went to the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah.
Tell me about that
Yeah,
experience.
we went there several times, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Lucky's?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Did you actually you met Hugh Hefner, is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. We met him and we had a brief interview with him, and he was just a very nice man.
And did you find nice ladies there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a bunch of
good-looking
them.
ladies there, sure. But it's not what you think.
It isn't? Tell us about it.
It's not naked women everywhere. It's really not.
No.
It's we went to a couple of parties there, and they're fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it was an art exhibit.
Yeah,
I'm sure there was
to
some
the art
nudity.
exhibit, yeah.
I know I got some nudity.
You went there
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
But I had the biggest faux pas ever done.
What is that? Uh-oh.
Stu-
No, even Stu's embarrassed right now already.
And we caught it on tape, and they rubbed it in my face quite often. Well deserved too.
About?
What do you, Hugh Hefner? What do people call Hugh Hefner?
Oh, Hef?
There you
Ding,
go.
ding, ding.
Oh, good, I got it right.
We talked about this before we met him. We knew the guy was coming out. We knew he was going to be there. We knew we were going to have a few words with him. And I kept telling Jimbo, I don't know how many times I told you this. People call him Hef. They don't call him anything else. They don't call him
Hugh.
Mr. Hugh Hefner.
There's Hugh or whatever. No, people call him Hef. And the other lady who was showing the other people around who worked there, she always must have said it at least 5 times. Hef will be down here in just a few, and when Hef comes down, you'll be able to talk about this, and when Hef does this, and Hef does that. So,
What is
Hef comes down.
In his pajamas.
In his pajamas,
Of course.
yes, and beautiful silk pajamas.
Looking great.
And what does Jimbo say?
Hugh, I love you.
I love you.
Hi, Hugh.
Hi, Hugh.
Oh my God.
For you.
I didn't even realize I did it till like later.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
no,
oh my God, did I
got
call him
it,
Hugh?
yeah.
He was cool about it and
Yeah.
everything, and he goes, bless you, my son.
But
But
he was
yeah,
cool about it.
that was a total choke moment.
Well, okay, so tell me, like, your favorite time of year. Are you a Christmas guy, a Valentine's guy? We know. What's like your sentimentally moments? For me, it's Christmas and also sometimes Thanksgiving. What about y'all? Because those parties come out everywhere.
Yeah,
and come
they
out
do.
at all seasons.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so in LA and stuff, they're the rager parties. But
You got to pick one, Stu. One holiday to celebrate
what's
right
your
now.
favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving, because it lacks a lot of. I want to swear right now really bad, but I
Don't.
promise I won't.
It's
Stay classy.
censored.
Yeah.
Stay classy,
Sass
San
and
Diego.
class.
I don't know. It's just
That commercialized?
everything's commercialized, and everything becomes a party, and everything becomes a sales gimmick, and everything. That's why I don't like Christmas that much,
All right.
But I'd rather just have let's eat.
Oh, Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
Football and eat.
Football
Yeah.
and eat. And you
Yeah,
go there with
football and
football
eat. There you
people.
go.
I'm gonna go Valentine's, man, because and maybe it's because I'm totally whipped right now with my third wife, but like there's like zero pressure, and it's just a love fest. And I tell boys all the time, do yourself a favor, don't try to go to Applebee's on Valentine's Day. Surprise her. Do something a couple days before, and then this way you're not sitting there for an hour and a half at Applebee's getting into a fight.
Good advice.
So there you go. Get it done, son. Get
Do
it done, son.
beforehand.
Yeah.
That's a good way. Now, tell
But I do
me,
love Thanksgiving a lot too.
so on your list, what did you write that you wanted to tell us? Because you made this nice, beautiful list and you did your homework.
Oh, jeez.
Tell me something that you wanted us to know about you. Let's say, like, when you were a kid. What's something that we don't know about you, Jim?
Something you don't know about me. Oh, wait. I wrote it down differently, I guess.
I'm random.
Let's see. About me as a kid, the fact that I was a late bloomer and I used to make out on my arm to try to be a good kisser.
You did that?
Yeah.
I thought that was, like, totally me. A
Like when
lot
you
of
put
people
your head
did
down to
that.
take a nap in
Yes.
class,
Heads
I'd
up,
be like,
stand up. kiss
my
yourself.
arm trying to figure out the tongue pressure. And this is a funny one. I told Stu this before, that I wanted to be really good at undoing girls' bras.
Of course.
God, yes.
Of
So
course.
I would put my mom's bras on pillows and do the reach around and get them unsnapped.
Oh, I didn't know boys actually did that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if normal ones do it, but I was just. Did you ever do it, Stu?
No, but at least you practiced for that.
Because I didn't want to choke that day that it happened for real. I'm like, I want to get those puppies out to play.
That's right. And what's something that you want us to know about your childhood, Stu? One up that.
Oh, God.
Please one up that.
You have to one up it. Everybody has a fun childhood and memories that suit them.
Yeah.
I've always loved radio though,
Oh, yeah.
as a kid.
God, yeah. No, I started listening to the radio at a very, very young age,
Yes.
and
Do you play
eventually-
instruments, Stu?
I was a band geek in school. Yes.
You were the band geek?
Yep.
And he can play a pretty mean drum.
Yeah, I
Stu,
can play drums
Stu got a
pretty
good beat.
You're
Yeah.
a drum guy. And
I played the saxophone. in the
there it
orchestra.
is. That's the one I was waiting for him to say. He told me he plays the saxophone, you guys. That means that Stu's like the hopeless romantic. He can play the
Yeah.
saxophone.
Possibly,
Can you
yes.
still play it?
Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stu.
I still got it somewhere.
I can play piano. I started playing at 7.
See, I always wanted to play piano, but I
Yeah.
took beginning piano when I was in college, and I just
It's a lot of theory, and my teachers used to
Yes,
get mad at me
it
because I play by ear nowadays, and so I would get in trouble because I wasn't understanding or following the leader. But I'm an abstract artist, and so I believe that there comes a blend between hearing it and knowing the words, and so I'm glad that you know that. Your finger is still bleeding.
It's your fault.
I straight up smashed Stu's finger in our earlier broadcast. But
And he's playing hurt.
Yes.
Good
And
man.
We're on Undone with Dawn McJoy. We're here with the Jimbo Man and Stu Man.
I like your name. It's something I want to order in the drive-thru.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You
Yeah,
know,
I'll take a Dawn McJoy,
Sure.
extra large.
Yeah.
Scott Ward actually named me that at
Is it?
Stater Brothers. We ran into each other, and then we were at Escape Brewery, and he named me that. He said, "Every time I see you, I see joy."
Ah, that's awesome.
And,
Mr. Ribbit, right?
Yes,
K-Frogger.
Yes, the Frogman. And he was my first interview on this show, actually.
Nice.
And so it led the way into this. And Stu, something that I didn't
Oh, wait,
know.
before you get away from... Did he tell you that I tried to have him give me a job when I got let go from KCAL?
Who did?
Scott Ward.
Scott Ward did.
I called him up, and I even sent him a fake demo tape. I said, you know what K-Frog needs is, you guys need a bad boy. You know how Steve Tyler and Bret Michaels kind of went a little bit country? Why don't you bring Jimbo over to the K-Frog world? Now I even changed my name and go from Jimbo to Jim Bob.
Jim Bob.
And I sent him a fake air check of Jackie delivering me some biscuits and me talking up a Mel Tillis record. Fun fact. There you go.
There we go.
And I still wanted to be in radio. I wasn't done yet, you know?
No, radio gets in your blood, man. Yeah.
So we've got about 20 minutes left, and we've already done a 40-minute show already. Can you believe that?
No.
Well, that means that we are BFFs and we learn how to talk to one another and what you say, communicate, right?
That's
And
right.
so
That's the key, they say.
when you are undone, sometimes you don't know how to communicate. And so I wanted to ask you both, how, like, I went through cancer and I went through now just recently COVID, and how did you guys communicate with me? I want to let you know that you both communicated properly.
We did?
We did, yes, we did.
That's good.
You talked to me through the symptoms. You talked to me through the dark moments. You talked to me through texting or a phone call. And before I met you, I was feeling alone a lot, and I didn't know how to express to people that I needed my friends. And when you are in life now, how are you communicating with your friends? Because with you guys, you text me and call me. Do I do that same thing with you guys? I want to know. Do I text you and call you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And does that help you feel better in your days?
Most days.
Does it most days?
Sometimes, like you're texting me when I was trying to get down with the wife yesterday.
I wouldn't know
And
that.
I was like, I know you didn't know that, but I didn't want to relay that.
You're
that I
having
was
Valentine's
anxious.
time.
Yeah.
You're having Valentine's time.
Right. Yeah.
But it does work, doesn't it? Those little text
Absolutely.
messages.
Yeah, no, it's good reaching out. And Stu would tell you, I'm glad. At first, for a while, Stu wouldn't return any of my... Stu was the worst.
Is he really?
Stu, well, for a while there,
Can be, yeah.
he wouldn't return my texts or calls. And it made me very, very sad. I'll be honest with you, Stu.
Yeah.
And then when he finally... I gave him time, but I'm like going, okay. I invited you to so much stuff, didn't I, Stu?
Yeah.
And he wouldn't go out with me at all. And I was inviting him to cool stuff.
Well, you have cool stuff to go to.
And he finally did a couple things and a little bit more. And like I said, I tried to be respectful because I guess without getting too deep, it is traumatizing when somebody tells you you can't do what you're good at anymore.
Right.
And so I tried to let him go through what he had to go through.
Yeah.
And what I needed to go through, I needed to still hang out with my buddy, but he wasn't having it in the beginning.
Right.
So the hard part was for me to kind of be patient and not be too needy.
Yeah, and you weren't the only one, man. I cut myself off from everybody.
Everybody.
I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything for a couple of months.
I relate
Period.
to that.
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it, to
Yeah.
know what way to go.
Yeah.
And I'm extremely proud. We've got 10 more minutes here, and I'm extremely proud of both of you because the one reason why you said you would come here is because you love me. And I used to not know what that means. I could share the love. I can give love through Red Shoe Project and through my nonprofit work. But when it came to personal time, I forgot that sometimes just sharing a meal with a friend or a cocktail or listening to one of your favorite songs. You know, we played, what was that last song you played on your radio show today?
The one Sam Cooke, Having a Party?
The other
Or
one.
So Happy Together by the Turtles?
And then the other one that you both love.
Oh, which one was it? Winning by Santana?
Winning by Santana.
Yeah, I played a lot of good songs for Stu today.
Winning by
did, man.
Santana,
Good
friends.
stuff.
You should have seen these two people. They were dancing
Love that
and
song.
jamming to that song, and so that's what this show is about too. Is to reminisce about those happy moments. And
Right.
every single time, either when we drove to Vegas or whatever, certain songs. You're a hopeless romantic, so you play all the '70s jams.
Yeah.
Jackie sings her loud, beautiful voice music.
Yeah.
And karaoke is where it's at. And so I hear both of you love karaoke.
Stu crushes it.
Does he?
I get
I
good
don't-
shows.
I
Stu
don't
could,
crush it.
yes, you do. You got a
No,
couple
So
songs that's like, dang.
we are undone here with Dawn McJoy. Tell me your favorite karaoke song to sing, Stu Man.
Do you want to know a secret by the Beatles? Is a very
He does that one really
Does
good.
he?
yeah.
Yeah.
And you,
And I
what's
can
your
do
what else?
do Kansas City by Wilbert Harrison.
That's a good one too, Stu.
Yep.
What else?
That's about it.
But those are two really good ones that he nails.
Jimbo loves to sing "Pretty Woman Walking Down the Street."
You can't say, I like to change the words a little bit.
I know you do.
And I remember, and usually if I'm like in a different city, I'll like talk smack about the neighboring city just to get them to bond. To say,
Right.
hey, is there any women from so and so? And they'll be like, no, this is that. I'm like, good, those girls are ugly. Here's Pretty Woman dedicated to you, Banning. I love you.
So you come up with those hooks. Where does that come from? How does that come? Is that from your deep spirit?
That's a good question.
You know what? I was a big fan of back in the day, Dr. Demento.
Okay.
Big fan of Weird Al Yankovic. And since I can't sing, people who can't sing try to make up for it with humor or something that you could tolerate while I'm trying to sing.
Oh, what's that other that karaoke song that you used to do that you just got all crazy with?
Was it Metallica? Hey, baby Trey, I'm the one who breastfeeds ya. Hey, you.
I haven't heard you.
Shout out to my godson Trey.
I haven't heard you do that in a long time.
Was that the one you were thinking of?
Thank you. Yeah, that is.
Ah, look at that.
And you guys all wrap around those things. And tell me your favorite moment together.
Ooh.
Ever. Was it at a kegger? Was it in...
Well, keggers were like really great moments.
Yes.
We loved them probably more than the people who actually attended them.
I think so. Yeah.
Because you're locked in that radio box and you're like, oh, is anybody listening to this?
Yeah.
And then you go to a kegger and you're like up there on the stage and doing the old you rock and getting it back. That's a great moment.
That is.
It
that-
feels good, doesn't it? When people
Yeah.
reciprocate back the energy
Yeah.
that you give out.
But that's why we're doing the Rockefeller's Music Fest, bringing the fun back,
Thank you.
man.
Tell us a little bit about that right now.
May 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Stu's birthday on the 21st is part of the
Yeah.
celebration. We are bringing a 3-day music festival to Banning at the Dysart Equestrian Center, and we'll announce more bands as it comes. But for sure, on the Sunday day with Blues and Barbecue is Pat Travers. What does he sing, Stu?
Boom, boom. Out go the lights.
That's right, baby.
Yep.
So that's May 20, 21st, 22nd, the weekend before Memorial Weekend.
Yeah.
So everybody can get their party before they go to the river or wherever they go.
But I found out from doing so many parties and keggers and stuff like that many, many times, all people want is like just a little piece of you, you know?
That's right.
A little fun interaction.
Yeah, a little fun interaction and a little piece of your life for just a second. And that's very gratifying.
Awesome.
It really is.
And you want to give it back to them because you want to
Yes, you do.
appreciate
Yeah.
people appreciating you.
That's right.
And what's crazy is my favorite thing is like usually when you meet a dad and their son, and the son's like still in their 20s or 30s, and they go, I remember listening to you when Dad would take me to school.
Yes.
And it'd be like, wow, we're really old and cool. We helped get you through puberty, you know? So that's always cool when it's like generational,
Yes, that's true.
you know? So
Yeah.
that's like, I mean, we genuinely loved what we did and we ain't done.
No, you're not.
No.
And I'm grateful that you came on my show today because it really has already been 50 minutes and we've been doing so good at keeping the energy alive.
Well, thank you for wanting to have us.
Yeah, and we would do anything
Yep.
darling.
Thank you
I'm
very
not-
Even when
much.
Meatloaf said, "I'd do anything for
That's-
love, but I won't do that,"
that-
I will do that for
I
you.
know you would.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've
Yep.
seen you out in the
Yep.
streets. You guys do allow me to come into your place. You do allow me in your space. And for an introverted extrovert like me learning radio, but also how to be out in the public, you've allowed me to just relax. And
Good.
I appreciate that you both mentored me along the way.
Wow.
And I think a lot of people don't really know that you're approachable in that way. And I'm grateful that you would come into the studio at this time, at this moment, that I could both just say, I'm completely undone in front of both of you. There is no scared tactics here. It's getting to know Stu.
She,
getting to
she
know
wrapped them
Jim.
ends
That was
together. That
good.
was well done.
And I was thinking about me
Thank
as a
you
grade
very
school,
much.
undone the bra.
Yeah.
Undone
On
the
the pillow.
bra. That's
But
the
no,
immaturity
you've done a lot
part.
of great things, Dawn.
Thank
You've
you.
helped me personally. You've helped my family.
Thank you.
You've helped my best friend Stu out, and life's a blooming onion.
A blooming onion.
And
Yes.
you help where needed. There's different ways we need help.
I told you this a long time ago,
Here he goes.
and I doubt if you remember, but I won't be hurt if you don't remember.
I
but,
remember things.
Can you remember?
Yes, I
Okay,
can.
I thought you looked lost for a second.
You befriended me at a time when a good deal of my friends that I thought were my friends were running for cover. You know, like about the time I got divorced and about the time I lost my job. You know, you lose your wife and then your job.
I thought you quit. They told me you quit.
You know,
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. It's a sentimental
trying to be
moment.
sentimental.
I know. That's why I always.
Let it be
Jim always screws
sentimental.
sentimental moments up. I'll be quiet.
you befriended me when I felt like I didn't have any friends.
Thank
and
you
I
very
will
much.
always be grateful
Thank
to
you,
you for
honey. Thank you. And
That's awesome.
That's the way we do it. That's the way it is that we walk in love. We walk in respect, and we walk in a positive light. And you both are that for me, and I wanted the world to know that about you. Maybe we do have some deep, dark secrets from shame and doubt and depression, yet we still have a presence that is still in the community no matter where we are. And it is about, what do you say, staying positive, staying happy, and staying healthy. And I am honored to have you both in this crazy studio. And I'm
Nice.
excited. So let's go celebrate with Stu on his birthday. And
We'd love to see you out there. And Dawn, thank you for
Thank
doing what
you.
you do.
thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you.
And I appreciate Rick Rule and what he's given to me through you.
That
and
guy's a
our relationship.
bozo.
No, he's not.
I'm kidding. I love Rick Roll.
And we see
He's-
Eric as a board up. He's coming in to start his shift, so we're gonna get out of here. But again, you're on Undone with Dawn McJoy, and I am here with Stu and Jim, and this has been a pleasure. I love you very, very much.
We love you, Dawn.
Right back at you, baby.
Keep it up.
Thank you.